Very good.
In today's video, we're recapping the new blockbuster movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, with an impressive IMDb rating of 7. Directed by the legendary Guy Ritchie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is a spy action comedy film with a star-studded cast, including Henry Cavill, Eiza González, and Alan Ritchson. The plot revolves around the Special Operations Executive, a secret British World War II organization founded by Winston Churchill. Their unconventional warfare against the Germans helped change the course of the war and gave birth to modern black operations. Stay tuned and watch our full recap. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. The movie begins in 1942, during the ongoing Second World War. In the Atlantic Ocean of Nazi-controlled water, a small boat full of German Marine soldiers came near a fishing trawler and came on board. They searched the trawler, and the captain asked Gus March Phillips why they had come. He happily explained they were there for a short sailing holiday. Even though the Marine soldiers didn't find anything, the captain still decided to burn the trawler down because they laughed at him. But they encounter another crew member on the deck, Henry Hayes, who opens fire on them. Meanwhile, Lassen swiftly slits the captain's throat in the midst of the gunfire. 3 of them use their weapons to kill all the Marine soldiers one by one. Meanwhile, another member, Freddy Alvarez, comes from the water. He actually went to set up a bigger explosive to destroy the German ship. In the meantime, the ship explodes due to the explosive that Freddy planted earlier, leading to the success of their plan. This all began 25 days ago when Churchill learned of the ongoing war in Europe, with Hitler and his Nazi forces conquering all in their path. Poland, Belgium, and France all succumbed to Hitler's fascist regime, leaving Britain as the final hope for liberating all of Europe. They also invited the United States to join them across the Atlantic and warned them about the German U-boats. As long as the U-boats dominate the Atlantic, American troops will be unable to reach their shores. Hearing everything, Churchill tells the officers that 2 Nazi tugboats and an Italian supply ship in Fernando Po are responsible for servicing, repairing, and rearming Hitler's Atlantic U-boats fleet. So now Churchill needs a team of men willing to go and sink those ships. They cannot air raid the area and destroy the ships because the cunning Germans have positioned themselves in a Spanish colony, and Fernando Po is considered neutral territory. If they were to attack the colony, the rest of the unoccupied Europe would align with the Nazis. Churchill also informs them that this mission will be unofficial and hidden from everyone. The British will jail the secret team if they are captured, while the Nazis will subject them to torturous death if they find them. Brigadier M briefs agents, Marjorie Stewart and Heron, about Gus March Phillips at the Special Operations Executive Headquarters. Brigadier M has asked Gus to lead the secret mission named Operation Postmaster. Gus must lead the mission to neutralize German U-boats in the North Atlantic. They require fuel, torpedoes, and carbon dioxide filters for oxygen. Without these supplies, the U-boats cannot dive or hunt. Their target is to sink the Duchessa d'Aosta, an Italian supply ship that the Germans have been using to refuel, rearm, and replenish the carbon dioxide filters for the entire fleet. They'll be posed as fishermen who are sailing down the west coast on board a trawler loaded with enough explosives to destroy the ship. Agent Stewart and Agent Heron will be working undercover on the island. Agent Heron had set up a casino bar and an illegal export game business, while Agent Stewart would pose as a gold trader to distract the island's commanding officer, Heinrich Zaga. They have 44 days before the Nazis move their operation, so they have to do it in the meantime. But Gus proposes that to complete the mission, he'll take his men by his own choice. First, Henry Hayes is a skilled young Irish sailor who despises the Nazis. Then, Freddy the Buzz Frogman can swim across the channel even with his feet tied together. He's very good at blowing things up. Anders Lessen is a Danish hunter. He's skilled with a bowie knife and a bow and arrow. He's a formidable individual who knows numerous creative ways to incapacitate opponents. Finally, the most important member, Jeffrey Appleyard, is a skilled planner and survivor. However, he was captured by the Nazis during his reconnaissance mission to Fernando Po. But Gus is determined to pick Appleyard from L.A. Palma, which will be on their way to the mission. In the present day, Gus briefs his team about the mission, informing them that Captain Appleyard is responsible for securing crucial information. However, as Appleyard is currently held captive by the Germans in La Palma, their main focus is to rescue him from there. On the train, Agent Stewart cunningly takes a briefcase from a group of drunk German soldiers. After thoroughly inspecting its contents, they transmit the information about the ship to their London headquarters. The boat contains 400 B-grade torpedoes, 5,000 tons of diesel, and 10,000 carbon dioxide filters. After confirming everything, they put the suitcase in the exact place they picked it up from. In Chequers, Algernon informs Churchill and other officials that Hitler has offered an appeasement to them, but they must relinquish their army, hand over their navy, and submit to Nazi rule. If not, he vows to eradicate Britain and its empire. But the Prime Minister tells them it is not appeasement but a surrender. He also argues with them that if they could achieve peace through surrender, he would have done that long ago, but Hitler is not trustable at all. Besides, they need the Americans, and they will never enter the war if they already appear to be on the losing side. Churchill receives news from M and Fleming that they have obtained the manifest, and the Duchessa is fully loaded with supplies, making it the best time to sink her. They also inform Churchill that there are plans in Parliament to remove him from office. After reaching L.A. Palma, they all hide and plan to seize the towers, proceed to the radio room and barracks, and eventually make their way to the control room. Suddenly, two soldiers discover them, but Lassen dispatches them with his exceptional archery skills. They finally enter the German garrison. Gus and Hayes eliminate all the soldiers in a resting room and then proceed to do the same in the radio room. Lassen takes some of them down, but one of the German soldiers detects Freddy walking. At that time, Lassen bombs their office and Freddy kills most of the German soldiers by open firing at them. An intense battle is raging between a countless number of Germans and 4 members of Operation Postmaster. They finally find Appleyard. They leave L.A. Palma while bombing the entire place. Agent Stewart and Heron have already reached Fernando Po and met with Heinrich Löhr. Heron introduces Löhr to Stewart for potential business, but Heinrich already has a profitable arrangement and is less interested in working with Stewart. However, Stewart somehow manages to convince him to work with her, saying he doesn't have to pay her if she can't keep her word. Heron tells Stewart that he will ensure the harbor is empty to carry the mission. He planned to host a costume party for the officers and another party at a dock for the soldiers. He intended to invite everyone except Löhr, which would be Stewart's responsibility. The trawler crew is planning to take a more comprehensive route to reach Fernando Po, while avoiding detection by others. They aim to avoid colliding with German U-boats or British warships, and hope to reach their destination within 15 days. In Heron's casino bar, he talks with Captain Benea about Duchessa leaving the harbor early. Later, Heron informs Stewart that the Duchessa is leaving 3 days earlier than expected. They need to notify their secret team immediately through headquarters to avoid being late. As Major Gus gets the news, he tells it to everyone, but they cannot move faster as it is not a speedboat but a fishing boat. So, they plan to take the shorter and riskiest route to arrive soon to complete their mission. Gus spots a British warship and introduces themselves as Swedish fishermen. The commander, acting on orders from Admiral Pound, intends to take them captive, but they are interrupted by the news of a U-boat approaching. Gus and his crew take advantage of the situation and quickly depart. Heron introduces Stewart to Camp Billy, the prince of Fernando Po. During their conversation, Camp offers to help them since he dislikes the Nazis. He'll give a tug and 12 of his best men. They again sent additional information regarding this matter to the secret team. They met with Heron and Camp and shared their plan with Camp away from Fernando Po, but they needed more men to complete the mission. Camp brought his men and more weapons to help them. However, Camp also warned them that sinking Duchessa would not be easy without attracting unwanted attention. But Gus tells him that that's why Heron will plant a bomb to blow the lights before they paddle in and rig the hull with explosives. Heron goes to plant the bomb, but the German soldiers catch him in the act. However, he easily kills them. The bomb is set to blow the harbor lights in 30 minutes. When Stewart spends time with Lure, a man approaches him and comments on how well Lure treats Stewart, comparing it to how he treats his Duchessa. When Stewart asks why the man said that, the man explains that Lure had disfigured Duchessa with his crude plates of steel armor, making her unsinkable now. Stewart informs this news to Heron, and now they must halt the mission. However, stopping the mission won't be easy because the bomb is about to blow the lights. Stewart advises Heron to prevent the men from continuing their mission if he cannot stop the lights. Heron hurriedly leaves with his car, and the lights blow out in the meantime. As the men are about to carry out their mission, Heron signals them to stop, and they contact headquarters to inform them that the ship won't sink and the explosives will fail. However, Brigadier M instructs them to find a way to complete their mission. Admiral Pound came suddenly and ordered Brigadier M to stop all activities and threatened to subject them to a tribunal if they did not comply. He also directly contacted the secret team to abort the mission immediately, warning that he would ensure they would spend the rest of their lives locked up. Gus ignores his orders and hangs up. After being discovered by Pound, Brigadier M informs this to Prime Minister, and he still instructs them to continue their mission. Fleming tries to contact Gus without success, but they hope Gus will still do his best to complete the mission. Appleyard suggests stealing Duchessa because it can't be sunk. They'll drag it from the harbor along with the other 2 German tugboats. Then they'll tow the Duchessa out into the ocean, sail into international waters, and hand everything over to the British Navy ship. So the updated plan is for Hayes and Gus to walk along the harbor and eliminate any patrolling soldiers. Freddie will bring his dinghy around to take care of the S-boats. Appleyard and Lassen will deal with Duchessa and blow up the anchor. They killed all the soldiers patrolling the harbor. Appleyard and Camp's men killed the people aboard the Duchessa. At the party, Lure catches a mishap of Stewart's song. He tells his nearby officers that they have caught a Jew. Heron locks the dock to prevent the soldiers from coming out while they steal Duchessa. Inside the Duchessa, Appleyard and Lassen eliminate the Marine soldiers. After a fierce battle, they head to the bridge and send one of Camp's men to attach Vulcan to the Duchessa. Gus sends a signal to Appleyard to let him know that everything is in place. Now they have to wait for the anchor chain to blow. But at the party, Lure takes Stewart to a secret place to torture her because her truth has been revealed that she is not German. Suddenly, there is a massive explosion in the harbor and everyone hears it. They realize that the harbor is under attack and Duchessa is being taken. All the German soldiers come towards the harbor to stop taking the ship, and the team is still trying to move it as soon as possible. As both groups started firing at each other, intense fighting broke out. Besides, the team also gave more power to the engine, and as a result, Duchessa began to move and they finally took Duchessa out of the range of their enemies. Lure reaches the harbor and sees that the power is out. The fuel depot has been sabotaged and the ship is gone. Lure commands a German soldier to deploy the S-boats to catch them. Suddenly, explosions erupt before his eyes. Stewart arrives, and Lure goes to her and threatens about how he will take revenge for what she has done to him. But Stewart shoots on his forehead suddenly and kills him. Then, both Agent Stewart and Heron join Gus. Appleyard contacts a British Navy ship in international waters to hand over the Duchessa. Brigadier M informs Churchill that they couldn't sink the ship, so they stole it. While meeting with the commander of a British ship, he tells Gus that they were ordered to put all of them in jail for neglecting Admiral Pound's order. 4 weeks later, in Glasshouse Military Prison, Churchill appears before all the members of the secret mission Postmaster. He explains how their bravery gave them an advantage as they risked their lives to complete the operation. Most importantly, they paved the way for America to enter the European War, and President Roosevelt was immensely grateful for it. This action war movie is based on true events. Major G.S. Gus was awarded the Distinguished Service Order for leading Operation Postmaster. Gus is believed to be the key figure upon whom Ian Fleming based his fictional character James Bond.